Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat?
So on Thursday's show, we went through a report from ESPN and Jeremy Fowler about Mickey Loomis likely to remain the GM for the New Orleans Saints and be the one to hire the next coach. And we gave thoughts on that and whatnot. The second part of the report, though, was Jeremy Fowler threw out three names for the Saints coaching job to keep an eye on. And that was Aaron Glenn, no surprise, defensive coordinator from the Lions. Plenty of ties to New Orleans, been on staff, all those things. Joe Brady, again, been on staff in New Orleans, offensive coordinator for the Bills. And Vance Joseph, the defensive coordinator for the Broncos, who's a New Orleans native. Gave thoughts on all of that. Go back and find that on demand if you want it. But what I want to do today, in continuing to kind of look forward, because again, let's be honest, everyone's excited. Everyone wants to talk about the future of the New Orleans Saints. It isn't necessarily the games. That's not what's moving the needle right now. And when you talk about any head coaching vacancy in the NFL, the number one name mentioned for all of them is Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator up in Detroit. And he's been awesome. And the thing that you hear every time is the offensive mind, great offensive scheme. People rave about his scheme. It's great. But it's really kind of left at that. So there's some context behind that. Who is Ben Johnson, and what does Ben Johnson actually want? Because here's the thing. This isn't new. This is the third year now that we're going through a hiring cycle in the NFL, and Ben Johnson is one of the hottest, if not the hottest names. In 2022, after his first year in Detroit as the offensive coordinator, he had head coaching interviews. Last year as well. Over the last two cycles, he's interviewed for 7 different jobs. Chargers, Colts, Commanders, Falcons, Panthers, Seahawks, Texans. 7 different jobs. Hasn't taken any of them. Has stayed put. And I think you could easily look at that and go, he's waiting for his perfect opportunity. Right? Maybe not. What does Ben Johnson want? Who is Ben Johnson? Let's start with who is Ben Johnson. Well, yeah, the easy way to say it, he is this great offensive mind where scheme, everyone has just been wowed by it. But what has it actually done? Well, in short, he's done nothing but rewrite record books in Detroit and the NFL in his time there as the offensive coordinator. The first season, 2022, was the first time in Lions franchise history they accumulated 4,000 passing yards and 2,000 rushing yards in the same year. It also serves as the second best franchise performance in total net yards, total touchdowns scored, points scored, first downs gained. He finished top 5, or I should say the Lions finished top 5 in the NFL in multiple categories there as well, including points per game, total offense, red zone efficiency. The guy has done nothing but rewrite franchise record books. And I mentioned NFL record books as well. How about David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs? First set of teammates in NFL history to produce 1,000 yards from scrimmage and 10 rushing touchdowns each for the same team in the same season. It's been awesome. He set a new franchise records in 2023 for most 30-point games. You get it. He's done nothing but rewrite record books since he's been the offensive coordinator in Detroit. And that's always going to garner you attention for a head coaching job. Is he ready for the head coaching job? Well, plenty of people are going to tell you yes, and they're going to cite the many coaches he's been under. This is a guy who's coached every position on the offense. Tight ends, receivers, quarterbacks, running backs. He's been really, really good with the quarterbacks. And they point as well to the litany of coaches he's coached under and the great quarterbacks that they have coached. Plenty of people say, yes, he's ready to run his own building. That's just an opinion until you actually see. There's risk in every hire, especially when it's a first-time head coach. even if he's the hottest candidate, there would always be risk in that hire. Because you can say he's ready to run a building, he's ready to be the leader of an organization. You don't actually know until it happens. So that's obviously something that you, I don't want to say put on the back burner, but it's something you just wait and see how it plays out. The other thing is kind of what we touched on at the beginning. He's interviewed for 7 jobs. He hasn't taken any of them. What does Ben Johnson want? And are the Saints the fit? Do they fit what he wants? Just before Thanksgiving, Tom Pelissero over at the NFL Media, NFL Network, he did a piece looking at each of the hottest head coaching names, that are going to be bandied about here in this cycle in the NFL. And in his write-up on Ben Johnson, he went into what he's looking for because of all those interviews that he's had, and he hasn't taken one. And that it's not necessarily the perfect opportunity. Tom Pelissero reports that what Ben Johnson is after is a job where there's alignment and a chance for long-term success. And if he can't find that, he'll just continue to stick with a job, team, and city in Detroit that, he's quite comfortable there. He likes it there. He's proven that. Alignment, chance for long-term success. Take them one by one. When you look at alignment, the New Orleans Saints are that. They've always been in lockstep here since Sean Payton got there and really know exactly what they're going for, on the same page, the culture, everything that they want. Now, yes, lately, that's waned. For sure. You have Mickey Loomis being defiant in the media. You can tell that it wasn't his choice. So, yeah, that hurts the alignment a little bit. But what you also have is an organization that is patient, wants to win, and will give you every opportunity. And with the report that Mickey Loomis is expected to remain the Saints GM, Gail Benson in the ownership, all of those things, the front office, the way it's set up, that is alignment, and that can be appealing. Yes, the New Orleans Saints, I believe, would check that box. The other thing is chance for long-term success. And this is interesting because it is in New Orleans. That is there. Sean Payton proved that. He proved it on 2 different occasions in his tenure. So you can find long-term success in New Orleans. The problem is it's going to take a while to get there again. Because of all the things we've been talking about with the future of this organization. The draft hasn't necessarily gone great for you. You have an aging roster and a horrible cap situation. It's going to be a slow rebuild in New Orleans, whether they want to admit it or not. So while long-term success is absolutely attainable in the New Orleans Saints organization, you're also a long way away from long-term success. And that is where I look at Ben Johnson as a viable candidate for New Orleans and wanting to go to New Orleans. And I start to be like, man, while the opportunity's there, it's just what you have to go through to get to the opportunity that ultimately could be what puts the nail in your coffin in your pursuit of Ben Johnson. Because the Saints are going to be one of the suitors. You have to be. You'd be foolish not to be because everybody wants a piece of it. He's the new hot thing in the NFL, and for good reason. The thing that could offset you being a long way away from long-term success is what we talked about with alignment. They're patient. They're going to give you a lot of opportunity and a lot of runway to get it right. They did with Dennis Allen. They did with Sean Payton in giving him the runway to rekindle the Saints franchise after they had won the Super Bowl. You know, the 3 straight 7-9 seasons, and people are asking, questions, and they stuck with it. And look what happened. Like, they're patient. You show you can win, they're patient. Even in Dennis Allen's case, when he didn't show he could win, they were patient. We'll have to wait and see. But this is a guy who's rewrote record books, and the things he's looking for, the Saints can offer. Just not as quickly as maybe some other openings in the NFL. The only other two right now are the Jets and the Bears, and those aren't great situations either. You have a rookie quarterback, and on a rookie deal in Chicago. That's awesome. Caleb Williams has had his struggles, but then again, Ben Johnson's been very, very good with the quarterbacks. Jared Goff's playing the best football of his career, and that includes the time he went to a Super Bowl with Sean McVay. That can be an attractive situation for a guy. It's in the same division, familiarity there, all of those things. The one other thing I do want to throw out that I think would be interesting is reuniting Ben Johnson with Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is under contract with the Saints for one more season. Now, there is a potential off-ramp here for 2025, and maybe he becomes a cap casualty. But Jamal Williams had his best season of his career under Ben Johnson in 2022. It's why he was so attracted to the New Orleans Saints, to potentially be the change of pace guy for Alvin Kamara, be that kind of Mark Ingram style, the bruiser, the bully, and succeed on the goal line where they had struggled so much in 2021, in 2022, and you sign him, and it just hasn't gone great. But that also could be a selling point. Ben Johnson wants to run the football, and that's a guy he's familiar with, a guy who knows his system. You wait and see. I'm not telling you that Ben Johnson's going to take the New Orleans Saints job just to be with Jamal Williams for one more season. That's not what I'm saying. But that is just another facet, of this to potentially look at when it does come time for the Saints to start conducting interviews, and one of them will be Ben Johnson. We'll see if they make headway with that. He's obviously going to be in high demand, and we'll see if he finally finds what he's looking for in an organization in this go-round of the coaching carousel in the NFL.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.